Okay, people. So I finally got round to seeing Doctor Strange. Um, yo, what the fuck? Oh my, dude, my mind has just gone completely blank. Uh, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Boy, yeah, I think I need to reboot. my my mental hard drive is crashing. Serious. But yeah, people, I went to see it. And so here's the thing, right? When it premiered, I bumped into a friend who went to see it, was taking photos and, for it, all of that. And he was just like, oh man, I don't know. Don't know. And a few other friends have seen it and were just like, you know what I mean? So I wasn't quite sure, right? I wasn't quite sure. And obviously, right, none of those people can be trusted. All have suspect, what I mean, taste. So I was like, yo, I need to check this shit out. All right. So what I mean? Like, look, there was stuff happened, right? Scott Dickinson was meant to be directing it, and that would have been fire, right? But what I mean, he stepped away because creative differences. And it's always like, because sometimes, right, you actually find out what those creative differences are. And when you hear some of the things people are like, oh yeah, and I wanted to do that, and they said no, and you'd be like, yeah, because that was just straight fucking stupid. Right? That was just straight stupid. You know what I mean? So, what I mean? Like, it's always made that, oh, the studio's an asshole. They were wrong. Sometimes it's not. So you never know, right? It's always hard to kind of judge. But they brought in Sam Raimi, right? And Raimi handled the first two Spider-Mans. He's all these other films. You know what I mean? So homie knows the material, right? He's been in the toy box. So let's see what my man does, right? So there is all of that, but with that comes that kind of, what does this mean, though? Right? What does this mean? Is it gonna be disjointed? Like, how's it gonna feel? That's the question, right? That's the question. So Sam Raimi, right, directs even. Michael Waldron, he writes. I believe Dickinson also gets a credit for the elements of the script that they kept, right? So there is all of that. It is produced by Kevin Feige, um, Michael Bell, and Richie Palmer. Executive produced by Victoria Alonso, Eric Horsman Carroll, Jamie Christopher, Louise De Espetio. Um, Derrickson does get a executive production credit as well. Music is Danny Elfman. Cinematography is John Matheson. It's edited by Rob Moraski and Taya Nolan. Casting was Sarah Finn. Um, right, production design is MD Johnny Huzan, Clint Wallace, and Charles Wood. Right, and our cast. Whoo! Well, people, we've got, obviously, old Benedict Cumberbatch is Dr. Stephen Strange. We got Elizabeth Olsen in there as Wanda Maximoff. Uh, Chitwell Ejiofor is Baron Mordo. Benedict Wong is Wong. Now, what was Rachel McAdams is back as Dr. Christine Palmer, right? Um, we do, the Uh, no, I won't tell you that one. No, no. I feel that one's probably best left. Okay. We do have, which was interesting, because I did not know until just literally a few weeks ago, right? Where I think I saw an image or just a clip appeared on Instagram or something like that. But we got America Chavez, right? Played by I don't know. Yeah, I have no clue. Because an X is an always X, right? So it's Xochitl. So um Xochitl Gomez? I don't know, man, but she killed it, right? She played America Chavez, which when you know the whole multiverse, it makes sense to have that character, right? But yeah, up until that point, I didn't know Shorty was in it. But yeah, so that was fly. Um, we got Haley Atwell, she's up in it. Anson Mount, um, Lashana Lynch. I mean, you know she's who she be, right? John Krasinski. Uh, I thought homie looked familiar, but yeah, I don't know. Right? Patrick Stewart, Charlize Theron, um, Shelia Atim. Um, she's up in there. Adam Hugill. Um, who else would be worth? Momo Young, Daniel Swain, Topo Reswiro, Eden Nafferson, Vinnie Molly, Charlie Norton, Aaliyah Chamako plays a young America Chavez. Uh, but yeah, we got some, you know what I mean? It's fly people. There's some other people in there, right? I just named the people, actors, because if you haven't seen it, they, you know what I mean? Like, I want to spoil that surprise for you people. But yeah, it was there was some nice little moments up in there. For real. There was some nice little moments up in this. All right. So the gist of the film is this: Doctor Strange teams up with a mysterious teenage girl from his dreams who can travel across the multiverse to battle multiple threats, including other universe versions of himself, which threaten to wipe out millions across the multiverse. So a lot of multiverse use up in that sentence, right? They seek help from Wanda the Scarlet Witch, Wong, and others. So yeah, that's it. Now, there was talk, right, that this film would have some horror elements in it, and yeah, it is definitely on the creepy side, right? Definitely, I had to tell my girl, I mean, like, yo, I know you don't like creepy shit. You might not want to watch it, right? Because no, for real, there's some dark stuff and also some stuff that you kind of go, yeah, that feels like Rami, right? That feels like motherfucking Rami, which was fine. I liked it, right? Especially, ooh, now, I feel that it was, yeah, I think it was the what is it? The 838 Strange. I think it was that one, right? Because I don't know because it was no, it wasn't that one. It was another dimension we don't know the name of. But that Strange after the, you know what I mean, and yo, super creepy, but great effects, man. Great effects. That was That was fire. That really was. You know what I mean? Um, so we have that, the ghouls, all of it, super creepy. Now, I really enjoyed the fact that we kind of continued from WandaVision and continued in a way that makes sense, right? Because I think a lot of times with all of that, you then go on to the next part, right? Without the okay, before they can get to this point, there would need to be this other stuff. There's going to be relapses, right? It's not boom, now you're fixed. So we learn, you know what I mean? It goes into this stuff, and you're like, yo, that makes sense. Okay, yeah, I'm down with that. And so I thought that was a nice touch. But also it was like, oh, I didn't know that person was the protagonist, right? I for a reason I thought Nightmare was coming back. You know what I mean? Who you know what I mean from like No Way Home. But we get someone different, and you're like, yeah, makes a lot of sense. I like that fact. You know, so that was good. Also, I mean, because this character is talked about as being mad powerful and everything, and they really showed it in this one, right? So we have all of that. Now, the other crazy thing, so we start off with this kind of action chase sequence, which you first of all you assume, oh, this is from later in the film, right? You know how that happens a lot of times. We see this crazy moment, and it's something that's we then go back to later on in the film, and we just got a glimpse at the start, which often gives way too much away. You know what I mean? But we have that, and you're like, oh, okay, but it's not, right? It's not that at all. And like as the film goes on, you learn about these moldable versions and there's just all of this kind of jam, and you're like, oh, okay. I do feel right the whole dream thing that was I like that. I've never heard that explanation on what a dream is. And yeah, boom, that works for me. That works for me. I liked this Doctor Strange. Now, there were certain bits, right? Like they throw in oh gosh, the place where all the magic peoples be training, right? I think we touched on that place in the first one, but not that much. But it's been a while since I mean, the first Doctor Strange came out in 2016, which I'm like, was it 2016? That seems so long ago. You know what I mean? Shit. But yeah, we may have touched on it more than you know what I mean? Because as mentioned, this is broken, people. But yeah, it did feel like, wait, where did this come from? I don't remember this. And then we have all these magic users and just all of that kind of jam there. I'm like, I don't remember all of this. What's going on? But you know what I mean? It still worked for me, right? The way they threw these different kind of elements in there and just went full, really explored the magic side of the universe, you know? So that was good. And it looks at, I think, to say the flaws of people is a bit too simplistic. That's not a word. Simplistic. Boom. There we go. No, because it's like it's all about decision making, essentially. You know what I mean? And learning from past mistakes, and also realizing that other people have good plans too, right? So just all of this is kind of built into the story, which makes sense. You know what I mean? So it works. It works. There's these trusts and there's trust and love. Just all these different elements are thrown in there without being too. Let's put a love story in here. Let's have this moment. You know what I mean? They don't bog it down too much with all of that kind of shit. But the story, I thought the story flows, right? It's not all linear, right? It's not all Okay, so we're going from here to here to here. It's not all of that, but I don't mind that, right? I kind of feel you follow it, right? I feel you follow it fine. You know what I mean? Though I think, yeah, it's not something you just watch when you're kind of distracted. I think you do have to follow the story. You know, like we see the Illuminati. Um, Kind of feel that the members of the Illuminati don't necessarily make sense, right? The Illuminati we see in the comic books makes sense when you look at, the people involved and their roles and their power sets and all of that. This one seems a bit more mishmashy mosh, right? Some of the people you'd be like, how would they be there? But we do see a character who is going to be getting their own film, and you're like, yeah, looked good. Yeah, looked good. Wouldn't be mad. Wouldn't be mad if that's the one we see in the film. You know what I mean? So that was fly. I feel you could have. It would have been a nice the moment to throw in our subterranean friend, but alas, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, it's still a nice little touch. Get a nod to a classic cartoon, which was kind of fun. Definitely fun with that. You know what I mean? But yeah, look, yeah, I enjoyed the shit out of it. Enjoyed the shit out of it. Like it made mad sense to me. And the end, oh, people, the end was like there was these two endings, right? So you get one which are just like, oh shit, what does that mean? Right? What does that mean? That's kind of crazy. Then you get this other one, and I don't know who the person was. Right? We see someone, and I'm like, huh. Well, I mean, it must be clear, right? It must be. But yeah, I wasn't quite sure. But yeah, no, it just what it kind of indicates that what could be coming was just like you people can't wait. I cannot wait. So yeah, whether this story gets continued in Doctor Strange 3, another film, or even one of the TV series, who knows? But I am down for it. Right, Doctor Strange was the 20. I think it was like the 28th film. Um, was it the 20? Yeah, the 28th film, right? And they're still fire. So, man, and this was so different to a lot of the other ones that we've seen. So, yeah, people, if you haven't, definitely recommend it, man. Definitely recommend it. It would be interesting to find out what Dickinson had planned, right? How different these stories were. But, you know what I mean? Yeah, I'm for this, man. I was for it. I don't know what my dumbass friends were talking about. They're on probation. Motherfuckers on probation right now. You know what I mean? They got to redeem themselves with some more kind of recommendations. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see where that goes, people. But yeah, go enjoy some Multiverse of Madness.